Magandang umaga, Pilipinas! Good evening from Atlanta. It's evening our time here, and I'm so impressed for what's going on. And happy Indigidos sa lahat po ng mga participants, sa lahat-lahat po ng guests, and sa lahat-lahat po ng speakers for this celebration. Maayong adlaw kanatong tanan. And then today I'll gonna share about celebrating. If I share, if I'll have to start my screen in here. I hope you're able to see my screen. It is all about celebrating your wow. Because today is all about ano bang naggawa ng istorya sa Kalinaw team for the past year since you started. So I call it the Iska way of working. So wow is now very commonly used, especially in the agile development world. And you are so adaptive. You are also very much agile. So I find it now fitting to celebrate you as young leaders of this very, very adaptive world where we are living on. So my topic is about using leadership to fight discrimination. It is talking about the activity and not the position. So this is about me, but in short, ako po ay katutubo. Ako po ay half katutubo from the Blaani Indigenous Peoples Group, specifically growing up in Landan, Polomolok, South Cotabato, and to so many of you here na part ng Indigenous Peoples community, I have experienced growing up being bullied, but I use that negative na experience as a way for me to turn it into something positive and strive to do better and achieve dreams and aspirations that I have in my life, because I believe na ako ang makakatulong nun sa sarili ko. With my family support, I'm able to achieve whatever I would wanted to achieve personally in my life. So our scope of presentation is all about these things: leadership definition. We're gonna talk about values and mindset, especially of the Iska team as I observed over the years, decision-making na practical tips, and preparing yourself for the future. So, mga ka-Iska, are you ready for this? So, ang context matters in, especially in the topic ng, ng discrimination. Paano ba natin ngayon i-define yung leadership natin on this issue? Are we going to define it like leadership as a noun, yung the state or the position of being in that in the leadership role as a leader, or yung office or the position of the leader? Or are we going to define it as a verb, the activity of getting a group of people or an organization or a society to get together and have its work done to make progress on the problem it faces? So reflecting back on the video shown earlier by the ABS-CBN, the G Diaries, Rodel Sogan shared about how the history of Istorya sa Kalinaw and the evolution. So you saw that problem, but you acted on that problem. You don't even have formal leadership that at that point in time, but you took action. You engaged a community. You started a platform. You started creating a Facebook page. You started talking about it, and you formed together as a group specific on the topic of sharing the narratives, the peace narratives of various Indigenous peoples groups. And you are not just only exclusive to Indigenous peoples, you are including other people groups across. But you focused more on the Indigenous peoples kasi yun yung problem. Nandun yung problem ng karaniwan na merong discrimination. So that's why I said, I'm going to talk leadership as a verb, not the noun. Because so many people maybe are in the leadership position, in the leadership office, but sometimes they're not able to exercise that leadership in them because as well of so many factors that only them knew as well. So I'm going to talk about your leadership, the Istorya Kalinaw team, as a verb. So, do you have what it takes to fight, especially indigenous people's discrimination? Kasi talagang nangyayari pa talaga yan siya. Ask yourself about the essential leadership skills or characteristics that you might be able to really use. And I believe that the Historia Kalinaw got this leadership skills and or characteristics because it is grounded on your values and your mindset, your upbringing, how your parents have brought you and raised you to respect others. So one is integrity. So having a strong moral principle and doing the right thing in a reliable way. If you can really recall for the past years, are you proud that you are integral to your mission, to the vision of your group? Second is respect. Respect for self and especially for others, despite having fundamental differences. So going back to so many IP discrimination issues that we're facing online, some people just don't know how to respect other people. They really have the mindset na mas labaw, mas mataas ang tingin nila kaysa sa ibang mga tao, or mababa yung tingin nila sa mga katutubo kasi yan ang kanilang nakagisnan nila na superior sila sa mga katutubo. Kasi when katutubo was mostly depicted, we are always depicted as like kawawa, nasa bundok. All of this stereotyping have contributed to that lack of respect of so many people, especially when they talk about indigenous peoples. But take a look at our brethren, the Muslim, the Moro group. They are fighting back. So you cannot just undermine, you cannot just say something bad against them because they will really speak up right there in front of you. Well, ako when I was growing up, when I'm telling my parents na gibuli ka or you have this experience in school, yung blonde mother ko, my late mom, she passed away already in 2019. Magsabi lang talaga siya na hayaan mo lang yan siya kasi ang Panginoon lang ang bahala sa kanila. I grew up with that kind of thing na even though you wanted to fight back, but you're holding back kasi you respect your elders. Kasi yan ang sabi ng mga elders sa iyo. But as I was growing up, we can be respectful to other people by also speaking up. It is not na you have to really fight against them. By speaking up na nasasaktan ako. What you are saying is not fair. What you are saying is not representative of me, of my people group, of my part of in the community. So this is something that we as indigenous peoples can really take advantage that respect is very important. Now, we could no longer allow other people to continuously disrespect us. And we can do it in a very peaceful way. Agility. Learning agility is the ability to know what to do when you don't know what to even do. You're very adaptive. I'm sure that in the past years, I've seen the growth of the team, the Historia Kalinaw team. You are very, very adaptive sa situations ng community that you are partnering with, mga projects and activities that you wanted to achieve. There are changes along, you adapt, you regroup, you plan again, then you come out even better. So there is very much adaptive nature of your group. Fourth is courage. I've seen in so many ways how you have taken courage. In your young leadership. I'm so proud of the courage that you are taking. The courage that despite of discouragement of people around you, because you are doing this advocacy, that they did not find the kind of joy maybe and the kind of passion and the kind of fulfillment of what this group has done to you. So you have taken the courage of sacrificing some personal maybe even goals and setting them aside to pursue this. But I wanted to let you know that there is hope. There is hope in what you are doing right now, because what you are doing is inspiring so many others to also take action. You have the influence. You are able to convince across generations to listen to you, in your platform, and you are very engaging in your communication. Look at how you have, I don't know how to set up the way that you're doing this. I wanted to learn from your team. I wanted to learn from your techie team on how you're able to do this live streaming and then cross posting and then engaging with a very highly effective na mga what's this, yung flyers ninyo. They're very it shows that you are technically savvy, and I applaud that, and I wanted to know that that is part of your way of working. And then so many people, they would not even think na karamihan ng mga members ng grupo na ito ay actually katutubo. So we are trying to elevate that we indigenous peoples, we of different people groups, we people na hindi minsan nakikita in the community, if we are given the same playing field, if we are given the same platform, if we are given the same tools, we can. Because we can just do it. We can learn. We can learn how to use these tools. We can learn how to maximize and optimize the potentials of these tools and the learning of these tools. So that really like made me proud on how you are leveraging the use and power of social media. So values, mindset, you'll take a look, and then after this event today, when you have your post-event discussion and assessment, take a look and see, are these things that I'm sharing now, are these reflected on what you are doing as a team? So these are essential leadership skills. And I said, so there's so many, but I'm just highlighting this as the most important ones that I'm seeing. So do better, be better, and practical tips for leaders on decision-making approaches. I call it the 4 E's to fight discrimination. Why 4 E's? Because I use this strategy. For those of you who are Facebook friends with me, talaga nakikita nyo yung grabe ako mag-post. One speaker here in Atlanta actually said the other day, Arjho, you are like the queen of Facebook posting. Because if I am in the situation where I have the time to really like share, I believe that sharing is caring. And then I always try to share something that would inspire other people and would engage other people to take action, to take proactive action. So when you are trying to fight any forms of discrimination, no, kahit na whatever people group you are with, use evidence. Number 1 is evidence. Ako, I document a lot. I document conversations. I document, I tag people in my posting because I know that it will come in what? Facebook memory. So I love Facebook memory because it makes me remind those times again. That's why I really specifically tag people to communicate that this has something to do with you. Either it is just for FYI only, or needs action, or I need you to be aware that this is going on. At least you will not tell me na, ay hindi ko man alam. Then I'm gonna go back to my posting and I can tell you that with evidence that I tagged you in this posting on what date and in what year, and this is what I said. So the evidence, in the video that Rodel shared with the G Diaries, there was an evidence captured in that particular posting of that particular person. So that person cannot deny that he did not say that. Ito ngayon yung great thing about technology because you can capture yung conversation. So be very cautious, be very truthful, be very mindful for what you say, even in private messages. Okay. May mga ibang tao talaga na mahilig mag-screenshot. So it is as good as if they're gonna post it publicly. So, you know, some people can just be like that. Well, it might be fine kung hindi siya personal or offensive for fun, yes. Pero private conversations are usually for private conversations. That's why PM ang tawag sa kanya. Kasi P is for private, M is for message. Bakit ka ba mag-private message kung i-broadcast mo naman lang din pala yan publicly? Eh di gamitin mo yung timeline mo, tapos i-post mo siya publicly. Pero meron namang mga considerations na iba. Ito si Libon Lugong, si Jessica, I'm gonna call her out no, as an example. Sinasabi ko siya, nagtatanong yun sa akin, coach, pwede ko ba itong ma-share? Pag magsabi yun siya na share, that means screenshot niya yung aming conversation, tapos ipopost siya sa timeline niya. Nag-a-ask siya ng permission sa akin. Tapos ako naman, the same thing with her. Like some of the people that I have, communicated na I am recapturing the part of the conversation, pero with the intent that hopefully it will inspire, encourage other people, not because I'm trying to pull other people down. So sabi ko sa kanya, okay lang, it's fine naman, wala namang something wrong dyan sa conversation na yan. So again, values doon sa respect. Just ask na kung tuwang-tuwa ka doon sa conversation ninyo, as long as aware yung isang tao para next time, dili matagam kay kung mag-conversation na ulit sa iyo o private message, tapos isi-screenshot mo man lang din, hindi na magpa-private message sa iyo yung isang tao. Mga ganun. So it has to have like a balance. So Bunlugong is my first mentee on leadership and also the first one for project management. And she's a proof that you do not limit your capacity to do better for yourself. Then second is evaluate. So you have to evaluate or analyze the impact of your decision making. For so many people, our decision making and the action that we take, it can be like yung masyadong forceful. It can be like yung masyadong vocal. Ako, I'm not afraid to really speak up, especially if I have the evidence to support what I'm saying. And I have a point to argue with, because I love the beauty and the essence of constructive debate. It's very helpful. How I wish I could have been like a lawyer, but my sister went on to be lawyer. I'm more of into the science side. But you have to evaluate what course of actions, after you have the evidence, what course of actions are you going to take? Because sometimes there will be pros and cons, and the trade-off, you have to consider the kind of trade-offs that you're gonna make. Kasi may mga trade-off na siya. Are you going to sacrifice especially pag controversial na issue? Sometimes ako, I don't care kung kaibigan kita. Pero if I'm gonna call you on because you really did something that is not fair, just, or yung not socially just, and then especially pag yung mga matatanda na katutubo ang agrabyado, even if katutubo ka, I'm gonna call out on you because our elders do not deserve that. I have a high respect for elderly people, especially mga cultural masters. No, they are our treasures. Hindi kasi pwede na porke nakapag-aral na tayo ay feeling natin ay mapagmataas na tayo sa kanila, hindi na natin sila sinusunod kesyo nakapag-aral na tayo. No. If you have that kind of mindset, reflect again to yourself and then be thankful about kung saan man yung roots mo, kasi yung wisdom ng mga matatanda natin, wala tayo noon. We are still part of our learning process. Yung wisdom ng mga tribal, mga indigenous peoples leaders natin, mga chieftains natin, IPMRs natin, wala tayo noon. And you have to know how to engage them in that respect. So engage is the third one. So engage others and take collective action to fight and any form of discrimination. So what you have done, Iska, is that you have engaged the online community through your platform. This is part of you engaging everyone for us to speak up, share our stories. You started with flyers, then you later on evolved into having videos and symposiums and all these other things that has evolved into in a way na para ba siyang napaka high-tech or techy. Na I think you are the first indigenous peoples group or organization in our region that's able to capitalize social media this way. And that you have to really celebrate. So educate, you inform, you empower others, especially yung mga hindi nag-agree sa inyo. Because the world is in your fingertips. So yung mga nag-agree sa inyo ng mga stakeholders, that's good. Kasi ano na yun you were able to win them. Pero yung mga hindi pa talaga on board at saka may disagreement, take that as an opportunity na you can win them. Parang sa ministry, di ba? Whatever ministry that you're part of, there's a reason why you try to do the ministry, because you wanted to reach out. You reach out not necessarily for people who have already the same faith as you are, but you try, or values or whatever that you're trying to reach out to them, but because they have different values or mindset or religious belief than you have. So you're trying to share what you have to them. So you educate. We are here today because we're trying to educate other people na tayo katutubo. We are proud of ourselves. Wag na natin pong gamitin yung katutubo lang. Please, we'll have to drop the lang. Because if we are using the lang, we ourselves, indigenous peoples, are undermining ourselves. So that is also one thing that we have to educate. If other people would say that, we can put a stop to that by educating to them. Magsasabi ba tayo na ako ay Pilipino lang? Di ba we don't usually hear, even here in Atlanta, I don't hear any Filipino na magsasabi, ako ay Filipino lang. So why are we saying na katutubo lang? We have to drop that lang. We have to change our mindset, educate ourselves, re-educate ourselves. Because if that has been the one na nakasanayan, hindi porke kasi nakasanayan ay hindi natin pwedeng matutunan na baguhin at itama. Katutubo po ako. Ako ay katutubo. So there is a level of pride and dignity when you are sharing your indigenous peoples group. Ako ay Blaan. Walang kasi Blaan lang ako. No, tanggalin yung lang. Kasi ako ay Blaan. So that's one thing that I would wanted to emphasize on that one. So sharing my personal approach when faced with issues and discrimination, I shared this in the SIPA and the Blaan Reaching Blaan event just like weeks ago. Yung sa Peace Forum din, Peace Summit. Keep it strategically simple. So kiss it away. So embracing our identity. Know your who you are. Know your what. Ano ang reason mo why you're trying to speak up to other people. Sharing our narratives, knowing our why, knowing our how. So in this context, you can really focus on the issue para hindi na siya yung issue na yon, talk about that specific issue for that specific reason, so that hindi masyadong malabo, mas madaling i-handle yung problem or yung issue when it is more focused rather than so broad na hindi mo alam kung saan ang uunahin mo. So but when you know who you are for yourself, you know why you're trying to speak up to other people and why you're trying to assert to other people, you know why you're trying to do it, and you know how are you going to do it, mas strategic yun siya, mas strategic. And it can be as simple as calling a friend na nagginawang expression yung people group mo na, alam mo friend, na-offend talaga ako sa sinabi mong yan because we are not like that. So it will make the person aware. I have corrected so many friends, mga professional friends sa ito, kasi hindi sa consciousness nila, hindi nila alam na yung kataga na yun, na bilaan, especially sa amin na mga Blaan, ay masakit sa damdamin at masakit sa tenga, masakit sa kalooban. So I was trying to really explain to them. So how many people, I could never count na how many people I was able to educate na ang spelling ng Blaan ay wala pong apostrophe after the B, kasi karamihan natin, mga words natin ay consonant, vowel. So kung lagyan na lahat yan ng apostrophe, di kadami-dami, pati ang feel, F apostrophe, YE, or whatever na mga words natin. Because so many people cannot pronounce our own language, does not mean that we have to conform to them. We can educate, and this is still a very big struggle, yung issue na yan. Well, anyways, we're still hopeful that our IP leaders will do action, taking their leadership as an action sa national level, that it will be changed, hopefully, so that our next generation will not be talking the same issue over and over again. So prepare yourself as a leader of the future, and going beyond the issue of discrimination. So let's go past beyond that. So characteristics of high-performing team. I got this from the Choose Your Wow Agile book. That's why it's way of working. So I'm trying to apply the concepts that I am learning and also part of my profession as an Agile certified practitioner. So you, Historia Kalinaw team, have a shared vision. I'm seeing that. You pull together, you have a shared vision. You are self-organizing teams. That means your expertise are very broad. That when Rodel is not available, somebody else can take over. You know, yung person na hindi lang yung the same person over and over person. You are self-organizing in your team. Very, very few of you, but you're very powerful. So that is self-organizing team. You have created a safe place for experiments. You have done this. I've seen how you have tried to experiment this, and you are not afraid to ask. As I always said in my mga mentees, there's nothing wrong with asking. There's always something wrong when you are assuming. Kasi when you are assuming, the other person does not know. Hindi mo naman pwedeng mag-telepathy na yung iniisip mo ay ganun sa isang tao. So the better way is really ask. Ask something before it can become a risk, and a risk that you cannot control or you don't have any control at all when that risk will happen. So encouraging emergent leadership. You are encouraging emergent leadership by doing this forum, by doing so many of these live videos. You have actually engaged community members to emerge as leaders from that community members. You might not have known it, but you are doing this in action. That's again is a leadership in action, a verb. So encouraging constructive disagreement. So there's like, you know, a point that I've seen some of your videos that, you know, there's a joking time, but at the same time, bumabawi yung host, like si Mel and the other, yung host natin on Monday, you know, they are joking about something na to some maybe, ay, parang offensive na, but no, they're not. They're going back, tapos ini-encourage nila yung isa't isa. So that is encouraging constructive disagreement. If all of you are just agreeing to one idea, that is not a good indicator of a strong and a high-performing team. But because you are a performing team, you encourage constructive disagreement. Because in this disagreement, you grow better, you grow stronger, and you are more unified. Then you're able to express your things in several na mga events. So encourage constructive disagreement, value disagreement, constructive disagreement especially, not just because you just wanted to disagree. That is a different naman na context. So moving forward, what change would you wanted to happen? Ano ba yung pagbabago na you think each of you, I'm now talking to not only to the Historia sa Kalinaw team, but to the Historia sa Kalinaw community. Ikaw na nakikinig ngayon, ikaw na nanonood ngayon. I'm trying to use this agile story. Again, yung agile, it might be a new word, but it is just agility, flexibility, being adaptive, you know, yung because that's what these younger generations now, the millennials, are so adaptive. Technological wise, you're so adaptive. So we call this user story. You use the user story so that you can prioritize which one of your particular actions gives you the highest value. So this concept, I also shared it Youth for the Goal Summit just days ago during the Cultural Forum. So as a role, whatever role you do as a youth leader, so as a role, kung ano yung position, you know, the leadership position that you have, as I defined earlier, leadership as a noun. So ikaw ba youth leader, community leader, or whatever ang yung you know, yung role mo in the community. I want to, ano yung gusto mong gawin? What do you wanted to intend to do for your community, for yourself? Wag lang kalitain yung self, no? So that, for what? What benefit? Ano ang business value? Ano ang business reason ba yan siya, or yung value, or yung impact, or yung service, or whatever you wanted to do. So use this user story. Reflect for yourself. As a person, as a woman, I want to be a good mother, something like that, so that my next generations could see me as a role model. So this kind of a user story, your user story, Historia sa Kalinaw theme has been that, as a youth, you wanted to use social media as a platform to share your peace narratives so that you can foster collaboration with other people, and at the same time, as your tagline says, help us communicate, our peace narratives, the individual peace stories that forms and the struggles of that particular community. Then you document that and you share. And so you can write your name and own that user story, so that next year, what will Iska do for next year? What kind of milestone you wanted to achieve for next year? Final thoughts on your second year anniversary. Celebrate your accomplishments. Be hopeful for the opportunities and the possibilities out there for the growth of Iska as a force to reckon with. And I really, really mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I wanted to share this. She already passed away. She's very famous in the USA. She's one of the women chief justices in the USA. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. So this is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Historia sa Kalinaw, if I'm going to sum up your wow for the past years, your way of working, this is what you're trying to do. And you are actually doing it and have done parts of it. So you have led others, including me, including so many people, to join you in this cause. So you are not alone. Happy Indigenous. That ends my presentation. And of course, I have references as an evidence nga dili lang ni ako nga mga thoughts of mine. I did my research and it's documented, and I wanted to honor that those that I have shared to you that I tailored down to what you are doing are in these references. So have a blessed day. God bless you all, and happy celebration to everyone. And I'm so honored to be a mentor to so many of you in this forum.